The Placing You First podcast begins in less than 20 seconds.
Visit crcgroup.com to subscribe, download our award-winning tools and intel articles that help you stay aware of emerging issues and trends, or get a snapshot of the insurance marketplace with our industry-leading Ready indexes. You'll find it all on crcgroup.com under Tools and Intel.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Placing You First podcast, where we explore the latest trends, tools, and innovations in the insurance industry. I'm Scott.
And I'm Amanda. And today we're diving into how CRC is leveraging technology to transform the insurance placement process. Specifically, we're going to talk about our professional lines Ready Quick Quotes platform and how it's helping agents and brokers work more efficiently while still getting the support they need. So joining us today in the studio are Brian Benda, professional lines broker, and Aaron Dyer, director of our digital distribution for CRC.
This is the Placing You First podcast from CRC Group.
This podcast features news and insights from a vast knowledge base of over 5,100 associates
who write more than $35 billion in premium annually.
Plus, we give you the latest information on what's happening at CRC.
This is the Placing You First podcast.
And now the hosts of the podcast, Amanda Knight and Scott Gordon.
Welcome, Brian and Aaron.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you both for joining us today. So let's start by talking about how CRC has found success leveraging technology. Aaron, can you give us some insight into how technology fits into the flow of business here at CRC?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, technology touches so much of what we do here at CRC and serves as a differentiator for us in the marketplace. And when I think about why that is, why there's a team dedicated to considering how we use technology today and where we'll use it in the future, it comes down to two areas of focus. The first and the most important being driving better outcomes for our retail clients and their insureds, of course, but also creating a better employee or associate experience in terms of how we manage our day-to-day processes. So what comes to mind there is our Ready platform, which is an application we've built so that rather than our folks logging into various systems, some of which more cumbersome than others, I think the nice word we use in the industry is legacy systems, they can do most of their day-to-day processes and business inside of our Ready environment. And by nature of having a tool like that, we're also able to capture a lot of client data along the way. Just given the size and scope of CRC, we can take that client data and drive real-time insights and analytics and hand that information over to our retail clients to hopefully drive better insurance outcomes. And I actually think online quoting falls right squarely in between those two things. So we've been in the online quoting game for a while now here at CRC, and we support many digitized lines of business. Everything from personal lines, commercial lines, some property products, and professional liability, which we'll talk about largely today in the context of Quick Quotes. So Quick Quotes is our online placement tool that endeavors to, of course, and maybe most obviously, deliver speed and efficiency in how we approach our markets, particularly with small business placements, but also helps us go further for our retail clients and harness that power of CRC online. And when I talk about Quick Quotes, for us, it's been largely an internal tool. So over the last 5 or so years, we've perfected that experience. And in the last year or so, some change, we've invited our retail clients to come in and use the tool. And that's something that should really be appreciated, particularly on the retail side as you're searching for a partner in online placements. The fact that we have spent many years of R&D as a broker building out the system is really meaningful, but also the fact that we're there for you on the glass, right? That's the term people in the industry use, but on the other side of the platform, so that, if the account isn't the best fit for self-service for you, or if you have a question around, a certain insuring agreement that should or shouldn't be presented to the client, your CRC producer, in this case, we've invited Brian to the talk about the value he brings in that scenario, but your CRC producer is there for you on the other side. So that's a long-winded way of saying, yes, the first thing for us that's important is speed to market, but also our expertise and specialization in the lines of business we support. And we want that reflected in the coverages too. Just because a quote is online doesn't mean it shouldn't have the robust coverages that CRC presents to the marketplace. So for example, with our cyber product, every E&S product offered on the platform comes with an expanded CRC, a mandatory endorsement or form agreement. So you can rest assured that what you're getting with us online is the same experience as what you might get if we emailed those terms to you in a more manual process. And then, in a world where you're on quick quotes and you receive 10 bindable quotes back, that's a lot of information to consume. So we've worked really hard to simplify the information and serve up the data points that are most important to make that insurance placement decision, and also make the rest of the information available on request in the system. So that's probably the second most important area of focus for us. And then the third is taking all that information and putting it into a client-ready proposal in minutes, seconds even, not hours. Creating a side-by-side comparison is a lot of work, but then also getting it into a proposal and presenting the right information to your client is really valuable. And that's where the data and analytics side of what we talked about earlier comes into play. So inside of your quick quotes proposal, not only are we offering those instant terms and helping explain what those terms mean in a side-by-side fashion, we're also supporting the presentation of that information in a way that makes the coverage relevant to the insured and helps them understand, how they can assign, their risk to coverage. So a real example of that is our limit benchmarking report. That is a result of some of our data that comes out of Ready. And it's a report that's available on every line of business in quick quotes that helps an insured on a relative scale understand, based on their industry and size, how much insurance their peers are purchasing from CRC and what that risk landscape looks like as they consider most effectively implementing a risk management strategy with insurance. And, we'll talk about this, I'm sure, throughout the conversation today, but ultimately we're agnostic. So if a retail agent isn't driven to use the platform, that's okay. But this tool for us internally, even to be able to access and tap into the efficiencies for small business placements is a really big deal. So that is a long-winded way of saying, yes, technology is used across the board here at CRC. And particularly when it comes to online quoting, we think we drive a lot of value to our internal folks and also our retail clients.
So, all of that sounds amazing, Erin. Of course, we may be a little biased because we are Team CRC, but Brian, as a producer, would you mind to sort of jump in with us and, maybe talk a little bit about how it sort of changes the game for you as a broker?
Absolutely. The name of the game here is to provide faster response, better recommendations for the client, and we're always having to evaluate what is our value proposition, and to be able to offer coverage analysis and an aggregated look across the market, to be able to provide this look to our retail agents and to do that with speed is a big deal.
So, Erin, that's sort of a great segue, right? Brian is a professional lines broker. It sounds like you've got his seal of approval. Can you walk us through what lines of business are currently supported by Quick Quotes and the online quoting platform, and maybe what's on the horizon?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Quick Quotes technology internally supports our producers across numerous lines of business, both in the professional space as well as property. When we think about when it's time to hand over a line of business to our retailers, that's a consideration that we're making really intentionally. We want to make sure that that experience is friendly to a retail end user and the product is familiar. And we have enough markets so that the user gets what they're looking for, which is multiple options, right? So with that, in our current state today, we offer cyber liability, miscellaneous professional liability, and employment practice liability to our retail clients. Of course, we're always looking for more markets and more products to bring online. So I'd plug here, if there's something that's of interest to a retail client, they should tell their producer like Brian that they want to see that on QuickQuotes, and we're always endeavoring to bring more options. Another thing I'll mention in terms of our roadmap, one of the things that sets CRC apart and I think is important for anyone looking for an online solution is the ability to access referrals through the technology. So if you think about instant quoting, that's great when we're in a soft market and carriers are delivering instant terms on all lines of business that we support, but not always the reality in the market cycles we face. So with QuickQuotes, we have intentionally built the platform so that when an account does refer to our carriers, we're able to notify our retail clients of that result once we receive it back, and also bring it back into the QuickQuotes system. So that once it's back into the QuickQuotes system, you can do all those lovely things we talked about earlier, such as generating your proposal, reviewing a limit benchmark summary, etc. So for us, it's always critical when we're looking towards a new carrier to bring online or even a new product to make sure that that flexibility exists, because we realize as a partner to our retail clients, we're not just there to provide instant terms, but also look at the complex stuff. And sometimes that complex stuff has to be manually reviewed and underwritten by our carrier partners.
Erin, with that focus on, efficiency, right? Access to, fantastic tools, but also the expertise that our retail partners need and depend on. How do our self-service quoting options actually help retail agents place more business?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the main advantages of QuickQuotes is that you don't have to be a specialist in a line of business provided on the QuickQuotes platform. That's why we're there. So when you are using the tool, if you're in a hurry, or it's a client of a size or industry where you're comfortable accessing those instant terms, absolutely present those to your client without CRC intervention. But we've worked really hard to make it easy for you to refer any account to your CRC producer, so that if you're in the system and you have a question around coverage or potentially limit that you should quote your client, you can ping Brian and say, hey, Brian, come in here and help me. And Brian will jump in online and support you there. So I think that's one of the things that everyone should look for when partnering with a wholesaler. You're not on an island when you're in the system. You want your CRC producer to be there for you, but also those efficiencies gained through a self-service solution at your fingertips.
Yeah, Aaron, I'll piggyback on what you're saying there, and full support of this idea that our agents are not on islands. We don't ever want our agents to be on islands. If you ask brokers or agents what their opinion of portals are, you're going to get mixed reviews. And frankly, I'm a huge proponent of portals, and this is ultimately what Ready and QuickQuotes is providing both to our CRC brokers as well as to our retail agents, is the opportunity to come in and to access the data, actionable data when you need it, but to also do so in an environment where you're directly connected to a CRC broker. I mean, I am a cyber specialist. That is what I see and do every single day, and I use our Ready portal all the time. And one of the things that I love about it is that it is giving me access to multiple carrier partners for a given risk, and it is comparing this coverage side by side in a variety of different ways. And one of the things that those of us who do a lot of cyber know is that when you're looking and comparing quotes, one carrier is going to use terms that are going to be different than the next. And there's just a lot of complexity and a lot of confusion between the language and then also in the limits and the policy forms. And Ready does a really good job of laying out at a high level how these policies compare to one another. Of course, we as CRC brokers step in to help facilitate those comparisons as well for our agents. And we have access to a number of other tools that enable the placement process to be easier both for ourselves as well as for our agents. One of those tools is CyberRite. We have benchmarking tools as well. And especially on the cyber side, speaking to that, where my knowledge is that helps me answer the question, how much limit do I need to buy? And that's a question that an agent gets all the time. And more often than not, we're relying upon our past experience. Well, someone who looks like you, we sold them X. But the analogy that I use, I think, to kind of drive home the importance of analytics that are available to us through CyberRite and other tools of benchmarking in Ready is, our parents always said, if everyone is jumping off a building, are you going to jump off too? And that, so if we're just using something purely like benchmarking, that's one tool, but that's representative of what everyone else is doing. So we have access to CyberRite. CyberRite is analytics into a given company. It's going in and identifying where all the security issues are. Also, it's doing calculations to make a determination as to what their average expected financial loss is in a given cyber scenario, cyber incident, and that allows us to then say, okay, based upon what we know about you, based upon what is out there in the world, the way that a hacker would look at you, we're able to use historical loss data combined with that to determine that an all-in loss for you, which is ultimately what we're trying to insure against, is going to be X dollars. And that begins the conversation of this is why we're recommending the limit that we are. So the entire portal provides us the framework for being able to handle any account, large or small.
And I'll piggyback off of that. Brian's talking about all the advantages when you're at the 5-yard line, right? When you're towards the end of your journey inside of QuickQuotes, reviewing the coverage results, and then building your proposal to tell the story of why your client should purchase the proposed terms, assigning their risk and exposure to insurance. But I also want to talk a little bit about the front end and how, we've designed this tool to start as a wholesale solution, but how we're also thinking about our retail clients and insureds in this journey as well. So one of the awesome things that QuickQuotes does is we allow our retailers to choose which markets they want to approach across all 3 of the lines of business we have active today for self-service. So that means maybe you have approached an admitted market for cyber direct, and you're now coming to Brian for his expertise. And I should say Brian or your CRC producer that you work with. We have many here.
They can always come to me. Yes.
So you want that opportunity to only approach the markets online that you haven't already approached in a direct capacity. So we give all of our retail users the ability to do that. We also think about how the transfer of data can be a little bit cumbersome and clunky. Not every retailer has a cyber application in their lap when they're inquired by the client about the coverage. So we've done a couple of things to make that a little bit easier. One of the things we have is called application link. It's a very fancy name, but the application link is something a retail user can send out to their insured, to their customer, to collect the information that we need in the QuickQuotes environment to complete the submission. Now, the insured isn't going to be presented with terms. We don't take that control away from our users. It's simply just a link that you can send to the client that ensures all the information as they complete it is available to you inside of QuickQuotes instantly. So it removes that requirement of kind of duplicative data entry, right? Taking data out of an email, putting it into the platform. Application link does that for you. And then, not every insured is very savvy with technology, and we totally get that. So we've also built a solution called Application Reader, another fancy name. The names define exactly what they do in QuickQuotes. And what Application Reader does is it allows a user to send our CRC Ready Cyber application to an insured to fill out. So that's a PDF app. And the insured can use pen, they can type in the information and send it back to their retail contact. From there, we give the retailer 2 options. So they can come into QuickQuotes, drop that application in the QuickQuotes tool, and we're going to extract all the data from that PDF app and pre-fill it in the quick quote submission. So what we're trying to do there is remove the burden of looking at a PDF on one screen and typing in the quick quotes.
So tedious.
Tool. Yes, it totally is. And we recognize that. So we want to make that available to our retail clients. We also recognize that digital and instant terms is not what everyone is looking for in a wholesale partner. So if you have that PDF application, you can always just email it to us. There's no requirement to use the Quick Quotes platform. And I think that's an important point to make. At CRC, we're agnostic to how our clients want to engage with us. We think this tool has a lot of advantages and provides the speed and expertise you get with CRC in an online setting, but of course is not the only path with us. But I think those are two really good examples of where we are looking to remove the barriers that sometimes surround online quoting so that our users can be effective with their time and also communicate with their CRC brokers so that in turn our brokers can be effective if let's say you send a PDF app versus use the tool yourself.
I'll add to what Aaron just said there. And, one of the largest um, roadblocks that I think I see on a day-to-day basis with portals. And I had mentioned earlier that if you ask enough people, you're going to get a difference in opinion on portals. The one common complaint you get on portals is that there's a lot of clicks. It's time consuming. They rather would just send it to someone, check it off the list, and keep going. And so the positives, obviously, of a portal are that you have direct, immediate access to the ability to quote or to receive an indication. And the application reader technology is not something that I've seen with any other portal that I have access to, whether it's a direct carrier or some other kind of third party aggregator. I've never seen it before. And I know with the growth of AI, this is what is enabling us to be able to do this. But to me, that's a game changer for the agent to be able to say, okay, not only for us to be able to say to them, not only do you have access to a portal to be able to receive quotes or indications when you need them, even if it's at midnight and you happen to be working, you can get the information you need then, but we're going to help you along the process, and we're going to take what could be 20 clicks down to 2. And we're going to streamline that process as much as possible. And I mean, again, our goal here is to make this a resource that makes our agents more efficient, because that's how we use it internally, is to make ourselves as brokers do our job more efficiently and more effectively. And so I'm really excited about that feature that Erin and her team are working on.
Yeah, I think with AI in particular, there's a lot of buzz in the industry around what AI can do. I mean, you even hear about like AI powered insurance agents, right? And for us, what's really important with the technology is considering places where we can apply practical use case with AI that augments repeatable processes, and taking data off of a PDF application, getting it into the quick quote system is a really great example of where we can do that effectively. So we're thrilled about the introduction of this tool, and we hope our agents use it. Our internal producers already have, and we're really excited about the feedback and where we can go with it from here.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of thought has gone into ease of use and just all the angles that can be applied to this thing. Brian, what kind of feedback have you been hearing from retail agents about the platform? Positive, I assume?
Yeah, I mean, look, those who are willing to use it are the ones who generally have a positive outlook on portals. And I do think that they found their experience to be positive for a variety of reasons, for easy use, for one, but also just for the fact that whether we're talking about cyber, we're talking about MPL, or we're talking about any other type of line that will eventually be made available through the Ready platform, they're able to gain access to multiple markets in a few clicks. And that I used to work on the retail side, and the process of marketing is much more laborious than that. It's sending emails to every single contact that you have and tracking each one individually. And so having all the information aggregated in one place, having it be user friendly, is great. And then, again, not to overlook the best feature of it, and that is that you're not alone on the platform. That through a few clicks, you're still connected to your CRC broker, who you're utilizing for their specialist knowledge, and that they're there assisting you through the entire placement process from beginning to end, even if you're the one who's putting the data in and getting the ball rolling, because that's what works with your timeline.
Those are great points, Brian. When I talk to retail agents who are using the tool, even if you just consider one small element, so inside of the proposal, let's say you're creating a cyber proposal and you've got 5 markets you want to present to the client. Even just the why buy proposal, where our practice group leadership has put together a couple of statements to help the insured understand against the threat landscape they're facing today and the coverage we offer, why this insurance is relevant to them. I mean, think about how many hours that alone takes for a retail client to create themselves if they don't have something like that accessible in their firm. That small example, I think, speaks to the time savings plus the insurance expertise that you're able to leverage through the Quick Quotes platform in a self-service capacity. And like I mentioned earlier, technology is not everyone's thing. But I think as the world evolves and folks do get more accustomed to the ability to do things on their own instantly online, we really like that that's an option too for those who want it.
Yeah, look, I know on the retail side, it's not too dissimilar from what we see, and that is, it seems like volume is becoming more and more of an issue on a daily basis as we're doing good things at CRC, as our retailers are having successes with their clients, they're seeing more opportunities, and they want to and need to be able to put the appropriate amount of time and focus into each individual account, whether it is their biggest account or whether it's their smallest account. And there just aren't enough hours in the day to do things the way that they've always been done and to do that. And so either we have to turn away business or we have to hand them off to someone else who may or may not be directly associated with that agent or ourselves, and you don't always know the type of service you're going to get. We always want to try to handle that, and our agents want to handle that themselves. And so utilizing technology, utilizing this portal, developing the portal the way that we have to utilize the efficiencies that come with technology, and as the industry of artificial intelligence kind of takes hold as well, utilizing that to the advantage of efficiencies for our agents and for our brokers, that's enabling us to do more, to be more effective, and to provide better service to our clients. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Aaron and Brian, if I'm a retail agent and I'm ready to start using the Quick Quotes platform, what is my first step? How do I get there?
Okay, so your first step is to head to crcqq.com, and we offer the ability for agents to sign up online instantly with their CRC producer, which is important to call out. So you have to have a CRC producer contact to partner with on the submissions you send through the Quick Quotes portal. If you go to the Quick Quotes website to sign up and you are not registered as an agent with CRC, we will work with you offline to discuss appointment options, and then we'll take it from there. And I would add a second step. When you think about your brokerage and how you plan to use this tool, I think going in with a game plan is really helpful. So you can think about Quick Quotes as an opportunity to attach cyber to your small commercial book. Maybe you have accounts within certain industry segments or under a certain revenue or premium threshold, right? This tool allows you to do that effectively. Maybe it's a remarketing strategy where you have clients who've purchased a endorsement and we want to move them to a full policy. And with that, also partner with CRC for all the great things our producers deliver as well. So certainly sign up, but also consider how we can support you and your agency goals with this technology, and come to us with those ideas. So we're available. Obviously, your producers are always available to talk, but our digital team also can join those conversations to better articulate how this technology can specifically meet your agency needs. Because while we talked about a lot today, we didn't quite get to everything the tool can do. So we'd be happy to have a one-on-one conversation as well.
Yeah, to that last point that Aaron just made there, while they can go directly to crcqq.com to register for the platform, me as a broker, I want all of my agents to reach out to me and let me know that that's of interest to them. I mean, we're going to be, we have proactively let our agents know that this is a resource that's available to them. But sometimes when you send that out, they're not quite ready to hop on. It's just not the right time, right place. They've got other things going on. But I always want my agents to reach out. We're a partner with them. I want them to share that interest with me. And if I don't, as a broker, know how to direct them, I know I can get in touch with Aaron, and Aaron's going to give me the crcqq.com website, and we'll properly direct them that way.
Yeah, and I don't know whether our viewers at home could hear it, but earlier in the podcast when Aaron said, "And you can ping Brian anytime," he actually got pinged while we were on the air, guys. It's true. It's not a lie. It's a real thing. Well, this was great. Do you guys have anything else to add before we get into the fun part of our show? Not that this wasn't fun.
Let it rip. Let's do it.
Okay, well, we have a little thing that we do at the end here that Amanda and I like to call rapid fire. And it's just whatever comes first to your head. There's no wrong. There's no right. And here we go. Our first question in rapid fire today is, what item is worth spending money on? You'll splurge on this. You'll get the name brand. No cheapies, no generics. You have to have it.
Oh, this is not rapid fire. There's way too many things to respond to here.
Brian's a man who enjoys the finer things in life, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see. I love to travel. My wife and I love to travel, and when we travel, I like to travel in style. That doesn't mean that I'm always paying top dollar for something, but I do want the best experience. So I'm all about, just like your typical broker, finding the best coverage at the best price. I want the best experience at the best price, right? So but I'm willing to spend it for the experience.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Experiences over stuff. I can get behind that.
Sure.
For sure. Aaron, what about you?
This might be unexpected, but quality tennis shoes often. So I'm always buying new exercise shoes. It's fun to have fresh fly kicks, but also I think practically from a support standpoint, it's important to buy new shoes every, 4 to 6 months. So
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I would also say like you protect your feet, right? Duh. I agree with that. But also hand in hand with that, Aaron, your mattress. Like don't
I was
going to
say the same
mattress.
thing.
Your sleep's important. Good shoes, good mattress.
I just got back from vacation and we slept on an amazing mattress, and so I fully support that as well.
I had the world's best mattress salesman tell me something that I never have forgotten. He said, "You don't want to cheap out on a mattress. You spend 1/3 of your life on a mattress." And I went, "Oh, yeah." So when he put it that way, it does make total sense. All right. Our next question. You're both very tech savvy. But outside of work and ready, what is your favorite app, piece of tech, or something like that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I've been an Apple nerd for a long time. So really anything Apple. I love the fact of how easy everything connects in the Apple environment. Because I'm kind of seen as the go-to tech guy for anybody who knows me. So, the father-in-law, the mother-in-law, my dad, they all call me.
Oh, no.
And so if I just say, hey, look, just get the Apple devices. It's very, they're plug and play, easy to use. I love that. So that's mine.
I think as the quick quotes gal on the podcast, I should be honest and share my favorite comparative rater outside of insurance. So I love Zillow. Like I spend a lot of my free time on Zillow. I'm trying to do less social media these days, and I think Zillow is a fair compromise. And it's fun. I'll go to any city in the U.S. at night after dinner and just explore real estate. So maybe a little embarrassing, but Zillow.
No, I think there's actually now a reality show about this. I can't remember the name, but I swear I saw a commercial for it.
It's and it's hosted by somebody like
guy,
Jack McBrayer.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Is it him? Yeah,
I think so.
From 30 Rock, I think.
Yes.
And it's called like Zillow Gone Wild or something. Yeah, something like that. So,
Aaron, when you're Zillowing, you can watch the Zillow show in the background. Give it a shot.
It's what most of my Friday nights look like. So you got
it. Well, Brian and Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing how Ready Quick Quotes is transforming our placement process here at CRC. We appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, and thanks to all of our listeners for tuning in to Placing You First. If you're ready to explore Ready Quick Quotes or learn more, you reach out to your CRC producer, Brian included. Providing current insights into the marketplace is just one more way that CRC Group is placing you first. We'll see you next time.
Are you ready to move faster and go further? Take your career to the next level. Join Team CRC to gain access to best-in-class tools, data, exclusive programs, and more. Send your resume to resumes@crcgroup.com and read testimonials from recent hires on LinkedIn.
Search for CRC Group.